Beer doesn't have an ABV on it.
They do. One of the weird things about the U.S. and some of their prohibition is that they felt that was advertising for people to drink it to get drunk. So they think that they would just buy the most highest alcohol content. So it varies by state now, and I think more and more are putting it on there somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, as I look at the sort of beers that we do, as soon as I look at the brand, I know exactly the percentage by volume and how much alcohol is in there. From a driving perspective in the UK, it's quite important to know that.
I think it's it's just old thinking of it's like thinking that bums are drinking high-end beer, but at a time it just doesn't make it. It just hasn't changed with the times. People are more educated. I mean, I know some states won't even allow you to put the alcohol content on the website because they think that's some sort of advertising alcohol content as opposed to education. So it's one of those very strange things that I think you want to know what's in there. I mean, I don't even think they want to put nutrition on it because they don't want to seem like beer has any nutrition.
Which is strange, really. I mean, if you look at the labeling, the legislative labeling that you have to put on American imports, there's a lot of information, and you wonder, does the beer connoisseur really look at that? Or is it just because it has to be there?
It kind of has to be.
Yeah.
It's just to cover themselves,
So when the average drinker goes out into a liquor store and buys a beer, is it the brand that draws him to it? Is it what he's used to, or is it because he wants to go off piste?
I think there's there's multi-levels to beer drinkers these days. There's obviously the people that drink light lager, the light stuff that basically what they're used to: Miller Lite, Coors Light, Budweiser, anything like that. That's kind of funny enough, probably the most loyal beer drinker you have, because they only drink that beer and that's it.
Yeah.
I think now, sort of like what the wine industry did, seen is that labeling is what people pick now. You look at, you stand there and you kind of like, oh, that's a cool label, and that makes you pick it up.
Yeah.
And I don't think many people look at alcohol content. I do a bunch of kind of media, like radio shows, and I always clarify when we talk about alcohol, it's really not so much, it's, oh, this is great because it's 10% alcohol. It's a rating of basically how much flavor and how rich or sweet the beer is going to be, really, right?
Yeah. But I guess it's knowing that it's 5%.
I think it's valuable for anybody, really. Yeah.
As opposed to 10.
Yeah.
Then you might say, well, I have two of those instead of one of those.
Absolutely.
So I know it's one of the first things that you would look at on the label if you were in the UK.
That's
yeah, it's the first thing that you look at. One of the first. Oh, that's quite strong, or that's not too bad. So you automatically in your mind start pigeonholing where that beer is. It's a session beer.
Now, do they serve the beer all in the same size glass, no matter what alcohol over there?
The legal measures in the UK is a third of a pint, half a pint, and a pint.
Okay.
At anything.
But you could just order any beer in those sizes, then, right?
Yeah. And most beer is half a pint. And remember, a UK
is more. Yeah.
Is more.
16 ounce.
You're 16 ounce. We're 20 ounce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Now, for here, what they do, a lot of bars will do, the stronger the beer gets, the less you get. So if you have a 10% beer, odds are you're only getting 8 ounce, or half the amount you would get in a 5%. So kind of like it'll balance out a little bit if they're not pouring you full pints of super high beer.
So you can have a variable volume then.
Yeah.
So we have to serve it at, in the entree, the third half, and a pint or above, pint and a half.
What do you think the major difference in British style beer towards American beer? Has American beer influenced any of your brewing at all?
That's the first thing. That's the first. I think firstly temperature plays a big. They're poles apart.
Yeah.
Most of these ales, when consumed in the UK, would be at 12 Celsius. I can't do the version.
I can't either.
Yeah, I will do in a minute. The 12 Celsius, 10 to 14. So in a
50 cellar temperature.
Yeah, that's 2.
That's very cold.
That's about 2.
That's less than 5. That's 3, 2.
I would say like 36, 34 to 36
Yeah, well,
degrees,
that
right?
fridge over there is 2 Celsius, which
Okay.
is 34
Yeah.
Fahrenheit. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing is strength. We have probably a more highly tuned perception of strength. Partly because I guess for us it's always been legislative. It has to be. You have to know what it is. But it helps you reconcile what you may want to drink, or indeed how much you drank.
Sure.
And also with things, there's certain brands in this portfolio that drink stronger. Perceived, the mouthfeel is such, it's richer, it's fuller, and you think it's stronger than it might be, and vice versa. In the same way, the flip side of that is where you get something that's easy to drink and it's actually quite strong as well.
Yeah.
And therefore, it hits you. It hits you at a later date. And one of the other key things is, this one was one of the IPAs, really bitter. It's really quite bitter, but very, very. You can smell it on the nose as well. But if that's the style, then fine. Sometimes, certainly with the smaller brands in the UK, you'll find that they're quite over-bitter from smaller breweries. And I think that's part of just, I think that you need lots and lots of hot compounds in there to give you the flavour.
Yeah.
What you sometimes do then is mask malt flavours. So if you take Speckled Hen, for example, there's no late hop in that. It's all the flavour, and there's still bitterness there. There's still a complex hop grist in there, but there's not late hop, so there's less aroma. And most of the aroma then comes from the malts. And the lead malt is obviously a white malt. We use quite a big percentage of crystal malt. The crystal malt, if you ever chew that, it's got very toasted. Not burnt, it's only marginally roasted, but it just starts with a nice toasted flavour. It's still relatively sweet, and that manifests itself in as a sort of toffee and caramel flavour at the end of it. To the 5.2% as well, it's quite warming.
Yeah.
It's quite a warming mouthfeel. Obviously, if it's got something higher than that, it hasn't got a massively high PG or residual sugar, so it also drinks quite dry as well. So dryness sometimes gives you what we call moorishness, moorish in terms of I want another. That makes sense.
Yeah. Now, do you think do English brewers stick to the style profile? Is that the goal? Is to brew basically an IPA how it's supposed to be, or is it everything have a slight variance to kind of?
No, I mean, there's a lot of debate and books have been written on what an IPA should be and shouldn't be, people have used variations of a theme. The key thing with the history of IPAs is that they were designed to be sold quite strong, but as they stayed post the sort of 1820s, it became inherent in that in India. It was designed there after to be diluted down, but there's less documented evidence of that. So that's why you see IPAs from anything from 3.5% to 7 or 8%.
More of a concentrated, so when they got there, they just doubled the.
So it's about where it was in its life cycle.
Yeah.
And many an argument.